and I know most of you already know this, choice is the steering wheel of our lives. And I'll tell you, I had a really profound experience around this. Years ago, I went to a retreat, a week-long retreat up in Idlewild. Do you all know where Idlewild is? Great little town. And we were all working on personal growth and long-term vision planning for our lives. And it was a very unusual couple that was running the group, and one of our exercises was to take on like a character or a persona, something that we wanted to be that we weren't, some way that it would have been great if we could have lived that out in our lives, but we hadn't. So I decided to be a famous movie star. And it was like when I was a little kid, I could imagine myself as a famous movie star. You know, like older, it would have been maybe Sandra Bullock. But I named myself, we had to give ourselves a name, and we had to totally get into character. And the idea was to take our characters down the mountain into Palm Springs and wander around town all night long in our characters, right? So I named myself Eve Winters, and I'm wearing a full-length, like red satin gown, sleeveless. I'm strapped, you know, sleeveless. And I borrowed my stepdaughter's like theatrical wig, which is just like mountains of hair on the top of my head that went up to about here, with some like hair kind of dangling down, bright red lipstick. And, you know, I had to define who this character was. Like, she's bombastic and, you know, outspoken and just like a real firecracker. That's who I made up this person to be. We got a little interview before we left, you know, try and get into character. And then we all piled into cars. There was maybe 6 of us per car, and we're driving down the mountain. And I'm sitting shotgun, and I'm turning into the car, and everybody is so animated, and they're so into their characters. They're just completely there. And I'm feeling a very familiar feeling, which is, uh-oh, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to invest in this moment. I'm not going to get into character. I'm going to just kind of barely make it happen. And I'm looking at them, and the more they seem animated and the more they seem in character, the farther away I can feel myself retreating from my own stance in it. And in times in the past when I felt like that, I could feel myself saying, well, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Like, I'm just not going to get this moment, but I can go to bed tonight, I can wake up in the morning, and I can do better. I can catch it, you know, tomorrow. But it really feels like this moment's lost to me. Well, of course, we're in a personal growth retreat, so we've spent the better part of the week already looking at things like this, right? So I say, you know what? I'm not going to let this moment go. I'm not going to accept that I can't totally engage right now. And I turn away from the interior of the car, I look out the window, and I say to myself, it's right now. Just grab it right now. And I could feel some switch flip inside my mind, and I turned back into the car, and I like landed inside Eve Winters. And I blew everybody away. And I walked the streets of Palm Springs. Strangers stopped and asked for my autograph. And I remember this because I just had this little tiny, you know, like a cosmetic purse, and I had no pen in it. The only thing that I had in it was that bright red tube of lipstick. And so they would give me their flyers or receipts or whatever they had, and I would write Eve, like this big, you know, and in red lipstick, which of course I couldn't use on my lips anymore because it was all smashed. You can't really write with it like that. But it was such a great experience for me to feel what it takes to choose in a moment complete wholeheartedness, complete presence, because that's where all the magic is happening, right? So I love the concept of landing right now, wholeheartedness, full presence, because there's no other when. And do you know what the acronym is for no other when? Now.